Welcome to the Pinfall Podcast. My name is Liz, and I'm your host. And I'm joined today by both my co-host, the darling dearest Marcus.
To the moon! It's been a while since I've done that.
And our beautiful special guest, Seth Rollins.
She's gonna stomp me.
He's gonna stomp, that's for fucking sure.
Oh,
I think her eyes
man.
are open right now. You should have.
This was equal parts disappointing, but also amazing. Actually, no, more so disappointing than amazing. We had one amazing thing happen.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know what I would say. Amazing. The amazing lasts about 5 seconds.
And we had one good match. Everything else was kind of bland.
Yeah, that's fair. Well,
So
Friday though. And guess what tomorrow?
Tomorrow's Saturday.
But it's also the most important night of the year.
January 2nd.
Mike Rooney. God damn it. Please join us tomorrow. I'll remind you at least 14 more times, folks. But please join us tomorrow because we will be just so fucking live. 7 p.m. I assume. We don't have a schedule. It's Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
But 7 p.m., join us for the Mike Romies, the most important end of year awards show at the beginning of the year.
I'm excited because we'll finally get a wrap up to the 2020 iteration of the Mark Power rankings.
And you will get to know who we've chosen as certain things like, best female performer, best referee, best pay-per-view, most ridiculous reason for somebody to have their career buried. So many categories.
And we will have
like 20.
We will have a moment of silence for everyone who went the entire year without getting a single win.
Right. You're going to reflect on the folks that just absolutely got fucking stepped on this year. We've got about 25 to 29 categories, I think. I'm not sure if that includes Miloms. I just sort of asked Mark what he thought for nominations for each category, and then by the time we were done, our internet was still out, and we didn't have cell phone service. And he said, well, I think that's probably good. And I said, yeah, we've got about 25 categories. And he said, 25? And I said, anyways.
More than the Oscars.
More than the Oscars. I feel like we should, how awards shows, before the awards show actually happens, they talk about the nominees and a different thing. I feel like we should do that, but I also feel like that might take until the awards show tomorrow.
Yeah, let's just keep everything on the show. And it might...
I think that we should on the Twitter, though, we should do it so it's announce the nominees how they were doing with the NXT year-end awards.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a whole fucking string of tweets. I would love that, personally.
I might set up my green screen so we can have our own, stage.
I would love that. Except I won't be in there with you. So I'll just be weirdly...
We could do it so it's both of us in here.
Ooh, single cam?
Yeah. Because we don't need the best of the night graphic.
Yeah, and we also don't need this, really.
Yeah.
Which we could probably still have.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. Discuss the specs. And we're going to be dressed up really nicely. We hope that you're dressed up really nicely, too, on Saturday. I'll even put foundation on again. I have not been doing that in a while.
And Seth Rollins might be there.
Or he might not be, but we're not going to fucking tell you. You'll find out.
Seth Rollins will be there. He will return.
Tomorrow night. Big return. Do something, I guess. The public eye. Anyways. Let's get into the news. We got a lot of news. But so help me God, tune in, folks.
Yeah.
I did not get hungover last night to not have you guys tune in tomorrow.
It's going to be so much fun.
It's going to be super fun. I'm so fucking excited. We're going to be drinking. The cat might be there. She probably won't be. We worked really hard on this too, so that's another reason why you should be there.
I also just want to say before we get into the news that for probably the only time this year, Biggie is leading the power rankings.
I feel like that's the equivalent of like on New Year's Eve when people are like, I'll see you next year.
Yeah.
It's just...
The only reason I say that is because whoever... Splucha, that is an amazing Biggie emote. I love that. But Monday's going to be a title defense. So... no matter what, who wins, they'll get more points than Big E.
Yeah, well. Sad news.
Yeah. But we have news to get to.
Just like I'm fucking king of Silicon Valley. We're segueing into the news. That joke landed better last night, but I still want to use it again. I had so many good jokes last night, and I was so drunk that I don't remember, like, any of them.
That's why you had good jokes.
Well, see you on the other side.
Okay.
Just kidding. Last night was enough. Shocking that I did not wake up with a migraine, though, because Prosecco always gives me a fucking migraine, and somehow I made it out. I woke up this morning feeling, like, vaguely shit, and then I drank a little bit of water, and I was like, Happy New Year. What is it, Seth? Just fucking staring. Oh, creep. Anyways. All right, let's start with the... I'm not going to call it sad news, but let's start with some more Brody Lee news, and then we'll go into the other stuff. Two cool things. Not that ratings really fucking mattered this past Wednesday. Unless we were one of the assholes that made it about ratings. AEW Dynamite's tribute to Brody Lee is officially the highest rated show of the year according to, I believe, Cage Match. Which is cool. Not shocking by any means, actually, but...
And now there's nothing that can beat it.
It was kind of interesting because, like, they were saying that was the highest rated show of the year, and I was like, honestly, like, not only does it work... Unfortunately, it works well because, like, last show of the year, basically, that also surpassed literally anything else that anybody did this past year, which is just amazing. But again, not shocking at all. And Pro Wrestling Tees commemorative Brody Lee t-shirt broke the company's sales records for like individual shirt designs.
Mm-hmm.
So.
That's good.
Yeah. Again, it's weird to say that's good because it's like also just a fucking testament to man himself.
Mm-hmm.
And let's get into the WWE news, or not WWE, but everything else. And one thing is Eric Rohn is not signed with AEW. His appearance was the deal is purely for him to appear that night. He is still unsigned, as indie as it gets. So that was something that people were talking about. They didn't know if he was actually like going to be a part of AEW after this, but that is not the case. Which seems pretty accurate. He doesn't really seem like he wants to be tied down to a contract anywhere right now, just judging by his social media. Okay. So several WWE superstars have rejected new, quote-unquote, disappointing offers. The offers are, like, super trash, I guess. And, like, they're worse than they were before AEW was a thing. which is like kind of one of those things where it's like, well, you would kind of expect them to be better,
Right.
because you're competing now. They rejected the offers, but that's not to say that like they're not re-signing. There's no real names yet, but it's not to say that they aren't re-signing. It's just that they aren't taking what was offered to them in the first place. Yeah. And WWE is apparently like not in a talent hoarding phase anymore, so they kind of seem to not give a shit if they have people go, which I think is curious.
It just seems like pay negotiation, and also like the way that they've kind of been treated this past year, especially with the whole Twitch and Cameo thing. They might feel like they need to be compensated better.
Yeah, and I think the interesting thing is that these people who have declined their new offers span from NXT all the way up through the main roster.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just main roster; it's anybody and everybody. So that's something. Mm-hmm. Top of that, Ben Carter, who used to wrestle for AEW before signing with WWE, is going to make his NXT UK debut next week. Never heard his fucking name before. I guess that means something. I guess that's something exciting.
Sure.
Really, we should start watching NXT UK more often, but
yeah,
there's only so many fucking days I can dedicate to the WWE.
Yeah.
Only so many.
I mean, NXT UK is only an hour.
Yeah, that's true. But that makes it feel weirder.
Right.
I'm sort of hoping that maybe if like I tune in next time, it's like got their audio shit figured out, and I don't have to see Ilya Dragunov like fucking losing his goddamn shit to like music I have to like strain to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Such a shame. Because like if the dude was walking out at like the Performance Center or Tropicana, it'd probably be a baller fucking walkout.
I love how you
but at NXT UK, it's like...
I love how you can't talk about NXT UK without mentioning Ilya Dragunov's music.
Sticks out to me. I want to like him, but I can't. Anywho. And final piece of news is that the WWE is planning a second Firefly Funhouse match for Royal Rumble, it seems.
Yeah. I mean, the one with John Cena was a great match. I can only imagine that one where there's supposed to be more faces will be like even weirder.
What do you mean more faces?
Because like the whole thing is that Randy Orton's supposed to be the heel in this situation.
Oh, okay.
But also, how do you have a Firefly Funhouse match and not have Bray win? Like, I feel like making it a Firefly Funhouse match automatically means that Bray's gonna win. Unless it's like the Firefly Inferno match, where it's not actually Firefly, it's just named that because the Fiend's in it.
Well, I assume that if it's a Firefly Funhouse match, like, they have to be in the Firefly Funhouse. Like, I feel like it would be weird otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am kind of excited, though, if they do go the same route as they did with the John Cena match. Mostly because it was a cool match, and I'm kind of interested to see how they would do a second part almost.
As long as it's just not the same person that did the swamp fight.
Oh. The people that they had for WrestleMania cinematic stuff was a much better person than they've had recently. I don't know if like maybe he just cost too much money or...
The Boneyard match?
The Boneyard match, at least I could see their faces.
Fair, and we did get a great meme out of it.
Exactly. Like, all of the angles were so much better than anything resembling the Swamp match. The Swamp match was trash. I remember finishing Extreme Rules and like us both sitting there like, so that was the main event? That's how it ends? Okay.
a lot of people are kind of wary of this year's WrestleMania also being 2 days, just like last year, or yeah, last year's.
When you say wary, what do you mean?
Like they a lot of fans don't want it to be 2 days again.
Yeah, that's a lot of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Like shoved to your weekend.
Yeah.
I don't think that it needs to be that long. I think it just needs to be WrestleMania.
Right.
Just because there's not fans, just like that doesn't. I don't.
They definitely just did that because of the Boneyard match.
They definitely just did that because they probably had too much that they wanted to put as main event material,
Mm-hmm.
and they also were like, "Well, how do we fucking make money off of this?" Like,
Mm-hmm.
at least that way they had extra people, like extra days that people were tuning in and using their streaming service, and thusly, I convinced more people to buy into the streaming service. So, I don't know. It feels so weird because I know for a fact that WrestleMania is so fucking close around the corner now that my brain's just like, it's gonna be like it is going to be WrestleMania time, like in a couple of days, basically, because of how time has been flying lately.
Mm-hmm.
Before we know it, we're gonna be like, oh fuck, it's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So.
More news?
Shall we move? No, actually, that's all I got today.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Been a pretty slow news day. Slow news week.
Matches and promos.
I peeled all my nail polish off.
Cool. Very nice.
It actually did something weird where the white nail polish that I used last night pulled the purple dye I still had on my fingernails, like up and through the polish. So the polish was turning purple. Now my nails look relatively normal colored. I don't know how that's possible, but
if you have dye on your fingernails, just paint your nails and peel them off.
Peel off the finger paint.
Peel off the fingernails.
Don't peel off your fingernails, please.
Remove the nail entirely. You know what? Just go for the knuckle. Remove the whole knuckle.
You're trying to declaw people now?
I'm not a doctor.
No, I know you aren't. Mark, if you had to lose 3 fingers, of the 10, which ones would you let go? Somebody's cutting off 3 of your fingers.
My pinkies. Like, do both of my pinkies count as 2?
Yeah.
Okay,
2
so
fingers.
Both my pinkies and I have one of these 2 fingers on my left hand.
I'd keep the middle fingers. I'd probably... Actually, that is difficult because I want to have both my middle fingers because just in case I'm like angry.
Mm-hmm.
Pinkies seem like the best option, but I feel like we need pinkies, right? Don't we?
Not that I can remember.
Add like extra grip or something.
I mean, if you're holding your phone, yeah, it helps to have your pinky.
My pinky is like permanently dented on the side here. Like there's like a slightly darker, like kind of callous looking thing because of how I hold my phone. I think you can kind of see.
Not see it all.
It's like darker right there. Oh, okay. Well, anyways, get into the matches.
Sure.
Our first time using the blue.
In 3 weeks.
Smackdown debut. Beth, how do you feel about that?
He's conked.
Maybe that's what happened backstage tonight.
Maybe. Alright, so we at first had Roman. He's in the ring with Paul and Jay, and he's talking about how 2020's been rough, but being the head of the table, he makes it work. Does that make sense? And he said he wears a gold glove because everything he touches turns to greatness.
That doesn't make any sense.
It makes 0 sense.
So King Midas was like, what was it? Like one of those like allegories or something like that, or like the stories that are supposed to like have like a little
Greek
warning
thing.
at the end, like Aesop's fables.
Mm-hmm.
Because Midas like kind of was like a dick, because then he turned his daughter to gold, and he's like, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Not good.
Maybe that's why Roman wears the glove, because without it, everything just turns too great for him.
Shit. Or maybe it's because he wore the glove once, and then suddenly he was like, fuck, I can't get it off.
Or maybe he has a sprained wrist.
Yeah, whenever I see it, it does look like a cast.
Mm-hmm. Because it is. Then he's complimenting Paul and Jay, saying that Jay only had a great year because he acknowledged Roman. Okay. Then Kevin Owens comes out, and he's compared to a cockroach, and Roman says he failed to ruin Kevin's career. That's why he's still here, and definitely not because that WWE can't write another challenger for Roman right now. And then Kevin said he was targeting Jay, and you'll see him later. I loved the Roman Jay storyline, and now I'm numb to it.
Kevin made me care a little more during their fight today, and like I think that's the only thing that's making me care about Roman at this point is Kevin.
I cared. Kevin made me care during the first match, and during the second match a little bit. No, not so much. They're milking it.
Every time Kevin calls Roman a bitch, I get like a little extra like joie de vivre.
True, that does keep me going.
Every time I'm just like, Kevin, stop that, you crazy cat.
But then we have Big E versus King Corbin.
Or do we?
We have the precursor, the pregame for Big E and Apollo Crews versus King Corbin and Sami Zayn.
Yeah. Just the weirdest fucking shit, honestly. All right. So we've got Big E versus Corbin, which automatically was like a weird, like, match. Sort of thought that we would see Seth, but we didn't.
I expected to see Seth show up for the Roman Reigns Kevin Owens storyline, which we didn't get that either. Because I was hoping for like a Shield reunion kind of thing, but like more so Seth being like, "What happened to you, Roman?" And then Roman will be like, "Dude, you're literally the fucking Messiah on Raw. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?"
I feel like I'm always working towards just a little bit more of a Shield reunion. I know we'll never get Jon Moxley back. I know that will never, ever, ever happen.
Mm-hmm.
In my wildest dreams, when I'm tucked into bed at night and sleeping peacefully, I just imagine the three of them back together again. And then I'm woken up by a couple chair shots to the back of like fucking Roman Reigns by Seth, and I'm like, oh,
and then,
damn it.
And then you're reminded that the Shield Roman was the worst iteration of Roman.
Bulletproof vest Roman. And also, Shield Jon Moxley was one of the worst Jon Moxleys.
Yeah.
I think it really only worked for Seth.
No, not even. Beast Hunter Seth was the best Seth.
Wasn't that kind of the precursor to Beast? No, it wasn't. It was the precursor to AOP.
Shield was kind of, because he had his blonde hair when he was in the Shield, so it was like right after he joined the main roster.
Right, and then that led into AOP.
And then AOP led into Beast Slayer. That's it, Beast Slayer.
Dude, AOP Seth was one of my favorite Seths. I'm gonna be real honest with you. It was a golden time. All right, anyways, so Big E versus Corbin. We got Sami on commentary. We get forearms to Big E, which just, they don't work. Big E just keeps standing there. An elbow brings Corbin down. Big E's gator rolling with Corbs. A forearm flattens Big E. Corbin then socks him in the face. Big E goes off the ropes and throws Corbin out of the ring to the apron. Or rather, Corbin goes off the ropes and Big E throws him out. E then jumps off the rope, like bounces off the ropes, and comes right into like a fucking hip from Corbin. It's a nice belly to belly on Corbin, and then Sami jumps in and just attacks Biggie, ending the match in a DQ. And then Apollo comes out and he attacks Sami. And then Corbin's Knights of the Lone Wolf come in and attack Biggie. And then I'm stuck sitting there saying,
I don't mind this because I like Apollo Crews getting any kind of work.
It's true.
But the Knights of the Lone Wolf is such a stupid name. It's so dumb.
Listen, it's better than Forgotten Sons, okay?
But it's implying that King Corbin is the Lone Wolf. Even though he's kind of been working with other heels this whole year.
Yeah, no, I don't understand, like, the Lone Wolf, why does the Lone Wolf have Knights of the Lone Wolf? Wouldn't you just be a Lone Wolf? And that kind of defeats the purpose of the Lone Wolf.
Remember when he was kind of leading Cesaro and Shinsuke during early pandemic? Yeah, it was like...
No, I don't have any memory of that.
It was like around Money in the Bank after Sami left. It was kind of Corbin, Cesaro, and Shinsuke working together. They fucked over Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak.
Oh, I have genuinely no memory of that whatsoever. Somehow. Anyways. Maybe it's because I wasn't taking notes in the beginning of the pandemic.
Maybe.
The only way I'm gonna remember this shit. Which, to be fair, it did come in handy like the other day because we were talking about wrestling. I threw you all the way back to like some shit that happened in June or something, and I don't know how I remembered any of it, but I managed. But anyways, that leads us right into a match that you kind of predicted. You made a snarky little comment.
I said we all know this is just going to lead to next week being Biggie and Apollo versus Corbin and Sami, and then it happened 2 minutes later.
Adam Pearce said, you know, that's actually a good fucking idea.
He's listening in.
This was only the beginning. This was only the beginning of, like, just the weirdest night of SmackDown that I think we've had in a while. Just structurally bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
We got Apollo and Biggie versus Corbin and Sami. We're already kind of, like, mid-match when we come back from commercial. Apollo's fighting Sami, and Corbin gets tagged in. There's a kick to the midsection, and Corbin tosses Apollo to the apron. He then punches Apollo as Apollo goes to like leap back in, which was actually kind of a cool fucking move. Made Apollo look goofy. Sami then tags in off of Corbin and begins punching Apollo. Apollo gets like a good few hits in, but not much. Corbin gets back in. There's a boot to the face of Corbin, and Corbin tosses Apollo out of the ring. Biggie then jumps in to like kind of, interfere. And the ref is like, no, you stay on your side. And then the Knights of the Lone Wolf attack Apollo. It was kind of funny because after they were done attacking him, Cutler and Blake were like facing each other, and like Blake had like his hands like kind of like on the side of like Cutler's head, just like kind of like rooting him on, like kind of like amping him up a little bit. And I was like, Cutler looked like he was like about to cry, and I was like, are we good? What's up? Very strange shit. Sami then tags in on Corbin again. Sami tosses Apollo out. Knights of the Lone Wolf don't attack Apollo this time though, because they don't work for Sami, and Corbin makes that very clear. Sami's very mad about that. We get a nasty fucking Puma tackle from Apollo to Sami, and Biggie is like dying to fucking get tagged in, and Apollo's just like crawling at this point. Once Big E gets in, we get some overhead belly-to-belly suplexes and a final traditional belly-to-belly, and a frog splash. Big E goes for the big ending, but that fails. He gets himself tangled right up into a deep six. Then we got Sami fucking ringside arguing with Knights of the Lone Wolf again. Apollo gets tagged in, and Sami tags himself in. Corbin doesn't realize that Sami's tagged himself in somehow. Sami almost haluva kicks Corbin. Then Corbin was waiting for it. I didn't want to get into my next note until now Corbin's mad and says, fuck this shit, I'm out. Marches his little ass up the fucking ramp. There's a step up insecurity to Sami and a sit out powerbomb. Biggie is missing in action for the entire last bit of this. Apollo wins. And then we get into a promo that's also kind of weird. Just because I thought it was kind of weird only because like Biggie was like kind of being a little bit of a dick. Apollo was kind of being a little bit of a dick too. And I was like, you guys are both faces. What's happening? Anyways.
I don't know. I think this is more so just like, hey, you're putting the title up. You know what? I wanted a shot at it. And Biggie's like, that's not a fucking joke.
Well, I think what confused me more was that Biggie, like, on Apollo and, like, right in the beginning, he and Apollo were talking and Biggie was just kind of being a little bit of a jerk to him.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, not in a way that, like, represented joking. I was like... Anyways, continue with your promo.
Yeah. So, Kevin Owens and Adam Pearce are backstage. And Kevin just begs for a match with Jey. And Adam said he can't because he takes orders from Roman and Paul. And then after some more begging, Adam said that he'll do it. He'll make it happen. And then we have the Biggie interview you just talked about, where he said he wants to be a fighting champion. He's making an open challenge next week, but Apollo already accepts. And then we have Riot Squad versus Natalya and Tamina. Thought it was Billy Kay.
Yeah, I know, we all did. I did really like the Biggie promo though, because like it was kind of sweet. He did a lot of tiny little subtle Brody Lee references, and I was like, buddy.
I think somebody else did I think Otis did a Brody Lee homage in their match.
Was it with the lariat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Makes sense.
the spinning lariat.
Yeah. I didn't see it, but it doesn't shock me. Yeah, so to add to the weirdness of tonight, we got Riot Squad, right? And they're in the ring. And then Billy Kay comes out. And I was like, okay, all right. And then Tamina comes out, and I was like, okay, I think we've already done this, but okay. And then Natty comes out, and I'm like, what?
I loved everything that happened here just because it all fucking makes sense.
In what way?
Because, okay, so we had Billy and Tamina, like, fooling us, and then it was Natty and Tamina, and Billy's kind of been going through the circuit with Riot Squad, trying to just try out different tag partners over the course of the past weeks. And now she's like, alright, I'm just gonna fucking manage / cheerlead these wrestlers for me. And as we get more into the match, Billy just starts siding with Riot Squad and just starts cheering them on, and even like tries to leave the ring with them. It was great, just from like a story perspective.
That's fair. That's a fair point. I do fucking love Billy Kay right now. Kind of like not mad that we're not seeing her fight as much.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I'm really enjoying this. But we start with Natty versus Liv. A shoulder tackle just kind of takes Liv down. There's an elbow to the midsection of Natty, and then a Panama Sunrise to Natty. Then Natty and Tamina are like really mean to Billy. Mm-hmm. Billy just kind of like cowers away a little bit. I was like, I'm sorry, that's my way.
Also, can I just say I found this video on Twitter that Britt Baker posted, and it's Brody Jr. wrestling Adam Cole, and it's just the cutest shit I've ever seen.
Stop, I'll have to check that out. Right, so Billie Kay just kind of cowers away. We get a Riot Squad dropkick to Natty, and then we get Ruby in and Tamina. An uppercut just kind of flattens Ruby. Ruby takes Natty off the apron and then kicks Tamina in the face while sitting on the top buckle. Liv gets in. She starts kicking Tamina. Ruby gets in. There's a double Russian leg sweep to Tamina. And a super kick to Ruby. Tamina attempts to Samoan drop Liv, but Liv ends up rolling her up instead to win. And then Billie Kay says, yeah, I was with them the whole fucking time. And I was like, okay, sure. I love it.
Yeah, it was great. Definitely better than our next match. Which is
I'm gonna
yeah.
I'm gonna just need I'm gonna need Corey Graves to stop.
But our next match is Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair versus Carmella and Bayley.
Yes. Corey creams his pants while talking about Carmella. It's horrible. Bianca and Carmella start the match off. Carmella wiggles away from Bianca as she is lifting her. She tags Bayley in. Bianca throws Bayley from the ring. Carmella tries to attack, but is also thrown out. She gets kicked in the head with a handspring from Bianca against the ropes. Sasha attempts a Meteora onto the two ladies, but fails. Instead, Bianca helps her with a crossbody off of the apron. We then get a boot to the face of Bayley and forearms to Bianca. Bayley pulls Bianca's arm against the rope. Carmella gets in. I don't really know what she fucking did. Bayley gets back in. We get a submission hold on Bianca's arms. Bianca slowly winds out. We get a vertical suplex to Bayley, and then Carmella runs in. She elbows Sasha off the apron, and then we get an inside cradle to Carmella. Carmella then super kicks Bianca. Sasha gets in. Carmella shoves her out of the ring. And there's a boot to the throat of Carmella against like the either the apron or the bottom rope. We get double knees to Carmella in the corner and then a running knee as well. It is broken up with a knee from Bayley, who just lets herself in. Bianca tries to use her hair to get Sasha to tag out on, like she did last week. Bayley grabs it instead, and then Bianca uses it to whip Bayley into the post. And then suplexes Bayley. We then get an inside cradle to Sasha and a super kick. Sasha gets the bank statement on Carmella, but Carmella is saved by Reginald. Reginald then does, for whatever reason, just some weird shit where he's in the ring at one point and he somersaults out of it and then gets back up onto the apron and somersaults off the apron, and it's like, this is the women's division, buddy.
A whole lot for very little. And then my favorite part is that Carmella then comes in, tries to sneak attack Sasha off of Reginald's distraction, but then gets kicked right in the face by Sasha.
Yeah. Sasha gets kicked in the head, or not Sasha, Carmella gets kicked in the head, and there's a jackknife cover. When she breaks out of that, Sasha decides to punch Reggie, who's standing on the apron, and then Carmella with a lovely little face buster to Sasha to win. It was actually kind of a cool move. I can't tell if it was a face buster or a bulldog though, but it was
it was like a variation of that move she first did on Sasha, where she like slams her face in the ground while sitting down, kind of. I think it's the Bella Twins signature move.
Yeah.
A little bit of
it was cool.
A little bit of breaking news, just a little bit. Mick Foley tested positive for COVID after a virtual signing he did.
I guess it's a good thing it was a virtual signing then.
Yeah, he's been isolating in a hotel room for 18 days.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Speaking of COVID, but I don't mean to do this, but I'm going to. So I just looked at Britt Baker's video. It's very cute.
Mm-hmm.
The picture that she posted of her and Adam Cole on New Year's Eve.
Has no one wearing
I don't
masks?
see a fucking face mask in sight, and they're out in the world. What is happening?
To be fair, it might be like an AEW party where they tested everyone prior.
Yeah, but like that doesn't count for anything because like you can get tested and then get COVID 2 seconds after getting tested.
Yeah.
Unless like they were testing them like there, and then they were like quarantine in this little glass cubicle until we get your test results.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Makes me a little antsy. Just seeing that shit just makes me like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like walk outside without a mask on to get the mail or something because our mailbox is like attached to our fucking front wall. And even then I'm like, what's in here?
But after that we had Roman and Jey backstage, and Roman's mad that the match between Jey and Kevin is now on, and he tells Jey to hunt down whoever set up the match, even though Michael Cole and Corey Graves said exactly who set up the match. And then somebody special returns, and Miss Sonya Deville is backstage walking past everyone. She winks at the Riot Squad. And
I just got a whole lot fucking gayer. I am so happy.
The pessimist in me is really hoping they don't just shove her as a third in Riot Squad.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, dude. She came back, she got that fucking suit on, and I said, Seth Rollins whomst? I don't give a fuck about a Seth Rollins anymore. That is not important to me. My wife. The woman I love.
She better, like, slam the shit out of Carmella. I would love to see that.
She's such a fucking badass, and her fucking style of fighting is so goddamn strong that, like, I see that shit and I'm like, yes. So last year, after New Year's Eve, I had to go to work. I walked outside, and I saw a dead fucking crow on the fucking sidewalk, and I said, that's a fucking omen. So now, starting 2021, the first fucking thing that I see is Sonya Deville coming back, and I said, well then, may the fucking chips fall where they may. I'm so fucking happy. I'm so happy. My dark-haired bitch is back. With all of her dark, lovely hair and none of this blonde shit. I can't say that, actually. We got Sasha and Bianca, and we got fucking Bayley.
Yeah.
Tamina. Billy. Anyways,
Ruby.
I'm very thrilled. The fucking strong eyebrows. Oh my
god. But after that, we have the Street Profits in the ring with their New Year's Day Smoketacular. I also love how they just, like, throw smoke in front of everything, like, implying weed, but nobody cares. I'm pretty sure Vince it flies over his head completely.
Vince doesn't get it.
They reveal a drum set, which Docs just starts playing. And then they give their 2021 predictions. And Tez said that the first prediction is the I Was Intercontinental Champion shirt will be #1 on the WWE shop. Little ad for you. And their next prediction was that Dolph Ziggler will get the nickname the Heartache Kid because he basically mimics Shawn Michaels. And then Rude and Dolph interrupt and attack the Street Profits, what you'd expect. And then we get an interview with Dolph and Rude right after that, saying that the attack was not unprovoked, and that it's always fun and games with Street Profits, so they deserve it.
Sorry.
Magic.
Sorry, the Dirty Dogs.
Oh, yeah, they're wearing shirts that say the Dirty Dogs, D-A-W-G, Dogs. And Dolph even calls them that. So yeah, they're the Dirty Dogs. Their tag team name. They have a tag team name, and Cesaro and Shinsuke still don't.
Are they the Artist Collective, though?
Not in episodes. They don't call themselves that. They also said they want the title, and they'll rematch the Street Profits, and that's basically where it ends. They don't make a formal challenge or anything. Just they will challenge. They will have a rematch. And then we see a promo right before the next match of Daniel Bryan training for Royal Rumble by giving Otis the Heimlich, or what looked like trying to lift him, maybe?
It's all hips and nips.
All hips and... yeah. And then Cesaro and Shinsuke interject, and they're like, what are you doing? You're not gonna fucking do anything doing that. And then we go on to the next match. Daniel Bryan and Otis versus Cesaro and Shinsuke.
Yes. Right, we had Daniel Bryan, Otis, Cesaro, the Cheshire Cat, Shinsuke. We start with Daniel Bryan in against Cesaro. There's a shoulder tackle that just kind of fucking flattens Daniel, and then Daniel Bryan launches Cesaro with like I don't know how to call this. It was essentially like a backstabber, but like forward. So either we can call it the inverted backstabber or we can call it a gut stabber. They didn't say the name of it, but I'm sure to make up names for wrestling moves that probably already have names. Shinsuke gets in. Daniel Bryan dives out onto Cesaro accidentally right into Cesaro's loving arms, who then drops him with an uppercut. Shinsuke gets back to kicking Daniel Bryan around. He throws him from the ring. Cesaro gets in. There's an elbow drop to sweet Daniel Bryan. And then a powerbomb to Daniel Bryan. He gets dumped over the top rope. Shinsuke gets back in. He puts Daniel on the apron. We get a running knee to the head of Daniel Bryan and then a kick to the head of Daniel Bryan while he sits up on the top buckle. Daniel Bryan then puts Shinsuke over the top rope. And if you remember, we're training for the Royal Rumble, so that's important. We then have Cesaro and Otis. There's some forearms to Cesaro and a release suplex. We then get a clothesline, which was likely the spinning lariat. And he splashes Cesaro in the corner. And then, much to Chad Gable's dismay, the caterpillar into a drop elbow. Shinsuke then breaks up the cover. Otis goes for the splash, but Cesaro is already out of the way. Shinsuke gets in, and Otis just kind of pancakes him. Gets Daniel Bryan back in. Daniel goes to the top rope with a sunset flip. He uppercuts Shinsuke and then moonsaults off the ropes and runs right into a single leg dropkick from Shinsuke. Which, is that not just a super kick?
Yeah, that is a super kick.
He called it a single leg dropkick, and I was like, I don't think that's true. But anyways, Shinsuke wants the armbar, but Otis breaks it up. There's a team super kick to Otis from Cesaro and Shinsuke. Daniel Bryan then drop kicks Cesaro, who fucking just flops away. Like, through the fucking ropes, off the fucking apron, in a little ball. I was like, oh, well. Hope he's okay. Hope he doesn't have to go to the LMFAO. We then get the yes lock on Shinsuke. Shinsuke, holds up a finger and says, I don't know. I'm not so sure. He's like, yeah, okay. And then he taps. A very gentle, calm tap. And I love that.
Real quick, I'm seeing stuff about Seth Rollins now. Apparently it was posted yesterday that he wasn't going to be returning anymore.
Why did they talk about it today then?
I don't know. But apparently his return has been delayed. I saw somebody mention that possibly because a combination of Brody Lee's passing plus it being snowy in Iowa.
Oh.
But I'm only seeing one source for that, and that's just a Reddit comment. Every news article, even one that posted 20 minutes ago, just has no details regarding that. But yeah, his return is delayed, but I'm seeing a lot of discussion that he might be coming back to face Roman at WrestleMania. But apparently everyone's fighting Roman at WrestleMania, so
That's true.
it was at first it was The Rock, then it was Daniel Bryan, then it was Goldberg, and now it's Seth Rollins.
All right, well.
But now we have Roman Reigns and Jey Uso in the champion suite. I assume it's a champion suite. Roman tells Jey just go down there and show Kevin what's up.
In spite of everything that you just said, when we were watching that promo, I was really praying that the fucking camera would pan over past Jey just to like Seth Rollins sitting there like, all right, that's interesting. Good job, guys. Good plan. I'll just be here.
I just want Seth in like his high-ass pitched voice just say, "You're not the head of my table."
I want his little Keebler elf voice back. Return it to me. However, there is one good thing that has come from Seth Rollins not being around.
What's that?
Nobody Murphy and Aaliyah.
True.
Yeah. Haven't had a single fucking ounce of that. Thank God.
Not even any Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, actually.
But last but not least, we have Kevin Owens versus Jey Uso as our main event.
All right. Oh.
Yeah.
This was pretty fucking quick.
Yeah.
We have a double knee takedown right into a massive fucking clobbering, which is very reciprocal. Kevin's on top for a while. Jay's on top after that. Kevin's back on top. Either can decide who's going to be the sub and who's going to be the dom. Kevin then stomps Jay and kicks him in the midsection. There's a senton to Jay multiple times in multiple places. Kevin then starts targeting Jay's left leg by kicking it, particularly the knee, which is pretty important because Jay likes to kick a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't kick if one of your legs is fucked, I assume. Jay's barely like getting any fucking hits in. Finally, he super kicks Kevin. He jumps off the stairs to Kevin Owens right into a fucking super kick. And I mentioned this to my sister last Friday, and she didn't understand it, but I didn't really expect her to. One thing that I can't stand about Jay is that when he's like going off like the top buckle or he's going off the stairs or something like that, and his move is not supposed to land, he's supposed to be interrupted in one way or the other, he always falls short. For example, like if he's going for the Uso splash off the top rope into like somebody's knees or something, he always lands his feet right before falling into those knees, unlike most people who just kind of fucking go for it.
I have noticed that a lot from different wrestlers. I think it's just a matter of not wanting to commit to that kind of thing.
Right. Which is fine. But also when there's people like Montez who go off for like a massive frog splash right into somebody's knees, you know the fucking hate he gets. It's like, I'm sorry. It's kind of part of the territory.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I'm sure I also would not want to be in that position, I am also not a wrestler. And that's probably one of the reasons why. Can't take a hit. Anyways. To be fair, I am undefeated in any fight that I've ever been in.
No.
Slapped 2 people, and I've never been slapped before.
You've lost to Pete's a lot.
Hey, Seth. Seth? You drooling on my bed again?
Also, I just want to share this one thing I just found, which is Sunny Kiss shared a quote from Brody Lee today.
I saw that with Anna Jay.
Yeah, he said Brody Lee said, "Please take care of her. She's going to be a star one day. Don't let this business corrupt her." It was so sweet.
This was very sweet. I know. Anyhow. Yeah, fun fact about the fucking cat, by the way. Lighten the mood real quick. When I got this dark duvet, I made a point to make sure that nothing got on the duvet because it's dark and usually things show up on a dark duvet much easier than they do on a light duvet. I started noticing these weird marks on it. And I realized that when the cat fucking drools, it stains the duvet. So, somebody's paying for laundry and it ain't fucking me.
Is it the cat?
That's gonna have to... Yeah, no, she's gonna pay for it.
No, she's not.
I know.
She makes no money.
I know. It's really fucking annoying. Anyways, God forbid I ever had a child. I'd be like, you're not paying for anything. What are you doing? At least with her, I'm like, you don't speak English. Or, well, any human language for that matter. Ugly. Anyways, aww. So mean to the cat. You're so mean to the cat. Look at her big cat bed. It's a shame. No one buys her any other beds.
She has many beds.
After so much money that we've spent on beds and like comfortable objects for the cat, she's like, it's either that bed or it's the floor. Or my pee pads. Anyways, let's finish this match. So both men are on the second rope when we come back from commercial break. Jay kicks Kevin down, goes all the way up top, goes for the frog splash, but Kevin Owens is not around, and Jay lands on the injured leg, which leads to Kevin Owens getting a stunner on Jay to win, and then Kevin Owens wants to beat the piss out of Jay, which results in Roman Reigns spearing him from the most inopportune place possible because he's behind half the monitors, like with all the fans on him. You just kind of see a Roman Reigns head and Michael Cole freaking out, and you're like, were you just like ducked down there the whole fucking time?
I'll tell you, the pandemic's the only time when you can have Roman Reigns smashing Kevin Owens' head into fans.
I was like, this is like having Kevin Owens beat up on your fucking lap. That was our show.
Yeah.
I just want everyone to know that I am playing Stardew Valley and I'm officially dating and very nearly married to Elliot. It was a long time coming. It's been 2 years on that.
Right, so that's enough
village.
of that. It's on me. Hi, everybody. So we're moving on to Best of the Night. I actually can't leave it on that because the Best of the Night graphics on main card.
Haha.
Ahaha.
Cool. Ahaha. Such a fun bunch.
Yeah.
So quirky. So goofy.
Okay. So yeah, best of the night. We'll start with promo of the night, like always.
Sonya Deville.
I know that's what you're gonna pick. So we started off with Roman talking in the ring. I'm honestly tired of this feud. It's one thing if it's one feud that goes on for a while but kind of changes up, like evolves. There's been no evolution here. There's been none. Roman just likes Jay a little more. Kevin's got a little angrier. Then we had Kevin Owens and Adam Pearce backstage. That was a nice little bit. It was nice to see Adam Pearce, like, you know, acting, doing a good job at it. Then we had the interview with Biggie. That was fun, interesting. And we had Roman and Jey backstage after the match was revealed. That was I didn't get that at all because nothing came of it too. And then we had Sonya Deville's return, which was hella hyped because never heard any articles saying that she was coming back at all. And the way she just interacted with everyone as she was passing them, everyone being the Riot Squad, was really cute. Then we had Street Profits.
I think that was a really good way to also.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna say I think that's a really awesome way to have somebody come back in light of everything that's kind of going on right now, where it's like, who really fingers. I think that was perfect because like I don't have any expectations right now. I'm just happy that Sonya's back, and also because of the fact that like it's not like she's coming back and she's like, I know that I had like all this shit happen with like Mandy, which I'm sure she will have that promo sooner or later. But because of the circumstances that led to her leaving, it's even more exciting that she's back now because it's kind of like, okay, that shitty chapter, at least legally, is closed. So thank God, she is back doing, and that's like her coming back is like a sign that that's over at least,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion.
And what's interesting is she's being brought back seemingly as a face.
Actually, well, it looked like it worked out really perfectly too because like with everybody in the hall, kind of got like Natty off to the side, kind of like giving her the stink eye and shit like that. But then like other people who were excited, so I'm excited. I'm thrilled.
And I mean, after what she went through, how could you bring her back as a heel, like a bitch heel? Because she was like a bitch heel.
I think there is room for her to be a bitch heel. I really do. I don't think her having what happened to her being the reason that she left be a good reason to bring her back as a face. And I don't really think that she's the type of person that would want that.
Right.
I think that she should come back though and be like, I'm a badass bitch and I will kill literally anybody that comes in my fucking way.
And also,
that's what we need.
Also, her being a heel prior to her leaving was kind of well motivated in that she was mad at Mandy because she kind of stole the spotlight from everything that Sonya did. And it was justified.
And fucking dumped her, basically.
Yeah. Kind of left her in the dust. And it was kind of like a Dolph Ziggler motive for his feud with Drew.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because Dolph and Sonya were kind of like a pair towards early pandemic. But so we had that. We had the New Year's Day Smoketacular. It was fun. But the way it ended just was so what's the word? Cheesy, bland, cliche. There was even an ad thrown in there with the I was Intercontinental Champion shirt. Yeah, it was okay. Then we had the interview with Dolph and Rude. God, the dirty dogs. I hate that. I hate that so much.
Hate that. Not good.
Then we had Daniel Bryan thrusting Otis. And then we had Roman Reigns and Jey in the Champion Suite. Which, yeah. Fuck it. I'm picking Sonya Deville returning as promo of the night. It was the only thing that was like had any kind of hype to it, excitement.
I think it's perfect because that's exactly what I'm thinking.
I know.
Again, it's we can go off of the same thing where it's like at least like this is kind of like awesome. She's back.
Mm-hmm.
The strife has passed.
Right. So next is wrestler of the night. Oh, I spelled Deville wrong.
Yes. Nice.
I thought the V was capital. So wrestler of the night, we start. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. We had Biggie versus King Corbin. I'm gonna pick King Corbin for this match. Just because Biggie was just okay here. I mean, Corbin was like, for the 2 seconds this match was, he was like top tier Corbin. We didn't get the end of days, which makes it ultra top tier King Corbin. But we got like the Deep Six. Was that this match or was that I think that was a tag team match. But I mean, just on this match alone, I think Corbin performed better than Biggie. But that doesn't say a whole lot since this match was 2 seconds. And then we had Biggie and Apollo Crews versus Sami Zayn and King Corbin. I'm gonna pick Apollo Crews for this. Apollo actually looked great here. Biggie kind of disappeared halfway through, and didn't get much time in the ring from the get-go. King Corbin was just alright. Sami was kind of not there. But Apollo had his sick finisher. It was great. And he all around just looked fantastic. Then we had the Riot Squad versus Natalya and Tamina. I picked Liv Morgan because she was really the only one who had any life to her, but I'm going to pick Billie Kay, actually. Then we had Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair versus Carmella and Bayley. I picked Bianca. Bianca was good. Nobody was great in this match. Anybody but the Somali.
I think Carmella wasn't bad. Carmella wasn't bad, but Carmella fucking... She needs to get new shit talk, okay?
I'm tired of her screaming. She can't just stand and be like...
She's like, I'm the best!
Or it's like, every man loves me.
The more you say that shit, the less I believe it, sweetie.
Yeah. And then we had Daniel Bryan and Otis versus Cesar and Shinsuke Nakamura. This was hard to pick from, but I picked Cesaro because he just looked mean and unstoppable. Otis looked great. Daniel Bryan looked fantastic. Shinsuke looked good. But Cesaro just European uppercutted that shit to the moon. Like, he looked fantastic. Top form today. But he always looks top form, so. And then we had Kevin Owens versus Jey Uso. I picked Kevin. It wasn't a very individually skilled match. Yeah, that's where I'm just going to end that. My pick for Wrestler of the Night for the first podcast of 2021 is Cesaro. He was just amazing.
You know what? I'll go with you on that. I can agree with that. I think it's weird that there's a time that I'm ever not really thrilled with Cesaro. He looked very on today, and I like that. And I think that it helps that he was wrestling with Daniel Bryan. I think they know each other relatively well at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Also, not that this impacts how I feel about a match, but it was so sweet when Cesaro had Daniel Bryan headlock, but they both had their Brody armbands on the same arm. So I was like, oh
yeah.
You're making it so the man's gonna just fall asleep in your little arms, but at least your arms match.
Brody would be proud.
He would.
And then we have match of the night for the first episode of 2021. So we started off with Biggie versus King Corbin, a match that lasted 2 seconds. Gonna fly right past that, just like Vince did. And then we had Biggie and Apollo Crews versus Sami Zayn and King Corbin. This was an alright match. It makes me excited for Biggie versus Apollo. Mostly because I hope that match gives some more personality to Apollo. But Yeah, this was okay. We saw some great Apollo action. We got some good Corbin action. Biggie was pretty decent.
Apollo looked good.
Yeah, he really did.
For being used approximately not at all.
Yeah.
The past few months, but
Yeah, and he would have looked good too in months prior if he wasn't fighting Bobby Lashley 15,000 times. But yeah, this match was pretty decent. Then we had Riot Squad versus Natalya and Tamina. The actual wrestling of this match wasn't very good. But you watched this match for Billie Kay. Billie made this match. Just her antics ringside was so funny. It was great. And then we had Sasha and Bianca versus Carmella and Bayley. It was I didn't like this match. There was no point.
yeah.
Not only was there no point, but the sommelier kind of soured it for me.
Please stop saying it like Corey Graves says.
Listen, he's not a sommelier. He's not. He's something completely different called a sommelier.
I do think that the problem that we're going to start having here is that they very clearly pinpointed 4 women who are better than the other women. Now we're going to see this in multiple iterations over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until one of us fucking claws our eyes out. Unless Sonya gets involved, and then we've got a nice, like, little fucking 5-way differentiation kind of shit going on, which I'm fine with.
Or unless...
To be fair, Carmella's kind of... Go on.
I was going to say, unless they want to bring Riot Squad into the mix, too.
I don't want them in the mix.
You don't? Who else are they going to fight? Mina and Natalya?
Other tag teams.
There are no other tag teams. There's none.
And another one. And a different one.
But then
I'm leaving it.
Why am I getting Facebook notifications right now? Stop. Silence. Then we have Daniel Bryan and Otis versus Cesaro and Shinsuke. This match was great. I really like this. Not only because of just solid wrestling, but also in the kind of development of Otis. He's really transforming into a formidable wrestler that can actually exist outside of heavy machinery. Because he deals the job in how he can wrestle. And then he also delivers the comedic flair in his Caterpillar. I mean, that was this whole thing in heavy machinery. He was just meant for comedic effect and to deal the finisher, but now he can actually do everything. And it's great. So I really liked this match a lot. Plus, you add in Cesaro and Daniel Bryan going all out on each other, and it's a recipe for success. And then, last but not least, we had Kevin Owens versus Jey Uso. And a match that was just okay. Would have been better had it not gone on for 50 years of just Roman and Jey beating up Kevin at the end. But you know, if we weren't going to see Seth, why bring out Roman at all? You know?
I mean, that's fair. I think everybody, to be fair, I did just see Seth posted a video where they made a workout himself and someone else, I can't remember who, made a workout specifically for Brody Lee, and they posted that video on Instagram. It looks like he is still at the Black and Brave training facility.
Mm-hmm.
So it does kind of make sense. I don't know how the Iowa weather is right now, but assuming that the Iowa weather is shit, it would make sense that he's not able to come back right now because of logistics.
Right.
Yeah. Does that mean that Becky Lynch lives in fucking Iowa right now?
Yeah, she does.
Princess.
Also, what's interesting, and I just noticed this, not only does Seth Rollins still have Monday Night Messiah in his Twitter bio, but he has him, AOP, and Murphy as his cover banner.
Twitter?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Hang on there.
Yeah, him, Razar, and Murphy. And Seth's last tweet was just him kneeling down in front of Sheamus. That's awful.
I do love the fact that I also love John Cone just standing in the middle, like, what the fuck is happening? I love the idea that Sheamus was like, okay, I'll kick you in the face if that's what you want.
I want to win.
Then he
after
kicked
all.
him in the face. It was kicked him in the face, and suddenly a month later, or 2 months later, or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
gone
Yeah.
forever.
Dead.
Farewell.
Pick the
Don't say
Messiah right
that.
out of him.
Oh, I hope.
Yeah.
I know we won't ever get this. However, if Seth comes back and I just hear burn it down, I will throw myself through the window. My body, it's like there will be like some eject button underneath me and I'll just go, yeet!
Honestly, if circumstances hadn't happened, starting the year with seeing Sonya back and hearing burn it down, it would be a shining light for 2021.
I would suddenly be like intense Vince bootlicker.
Yeah.
I'd be out here paying $400 for a Drew McIntyre cameo, dude. I would.
But going back to our match of the night, it's tough, but actually it's not tough. My pick for match of the night is Daniel Bryan and Otis versus Cesaro and Shinsuke. It's an easy choice.
Yeah, nothing else worked.
Nothing.
The Biggie and Sami match, both of them, they were weird. Women's matches were not good. Like talent wise and like everything else wise. And then the Kevin Owens and Jey fight was like all right, I guess, but like I've been waiting for Kevin Owens to beat the shit out of Jey for a while, and I got like 5 minutes of it, and I was like, and like we came back from commercial break and Kevin beat the shit out of him and won.
Yeah, like it was 2 seconds after commercial break, and they got the pin. This was very much just a filler match. It's just to buy time until another pay-per-view happens, aka Royal Rumble, when they have another match.
Yeah.
So to run it back for our bests of the night of 2021, our promo of the night, Sonya Deville returns. She is back. Our wrestler of the night is Cesaro. And our match of the night, the tag team match between Daniel Bryan and Otis versus Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. Liz, would you like to close us out of our first podcast of 2021?
Thank you for tuning in tonight. If you tuned in tonight, thank you. If you tuned in the future, thank you. There's no holidays I can say have fun with. So just, stay safe. Drink water. Don't make a fucking New Year's resolution. It's bullshit. You're wasting your time. Please join us tomorrow. It is going to be so much fun. I promise you. We're going to have fun even if you don't show up. So, take that. There are a lot of categories. We got a lot of alcohol. We got one cat. And one green screen. It's going to be super fun. I'm really excited to do this. I've been working on this for months. And as much as it's been a joke, I literally have been working on this for months. So please join us for the best year-end awards at the beginning of the year. And also, just to keep this on your fucking radars, I did the math. On the back of my Alaska Airlines envelope, because they won't stop sending me mail after I took one flight from them to California.
Show the address.
You can go back and look at that. I don't think that'd be that clear. I mean, these numbers are barely even that clear. You can blur it if you want. I don't care. Anyways, did the math. 100th episode. Thank God is falling on a fucking Wednesday. We get to celebrate our 100th episode with fucking NXT, assuming nothing else falls apart in the meantime. Fingers fucking crossed on that one.
NXT's canceled.
Oh, God. But January 27th will be our 100th episode. So we'll do something fun for that, I guess. I'm sure. Maybe we'll pop a bottle of champagne.
We'll throw the cat.
Nope. We'll get banned from Twitch for that.
Why? We didn't call her a simp or anything.
I don't want to get canceled because I threw my little cam down.
Oh.
Oh. What was that? I'm sorry, Princess.
But
I was like petting her for a while and she didn't move, so I thought she was just awake. You didn't hear that. She burred like a little bitch.
oh. But thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, hit that follow button. Don't forget to check out Saturday, tomorrow, the Mike Romies, starting at 7 p.m. And also hit that subscribe button. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And follow us on Twitter at Pinfall Podcast. And our individual Twitters are at the Mark Cameron and Liz is at Eliza Elaine23. And check out my personal Twitch, twitch.tv/Mark Cameron. And check out the Universal Pokemon Federation on YouTube. The second episode is now out. Go check it out. I guess if you want to watch Don Pokemon, get the Battle Courtney. And whoever won that. Alright, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you on tomorrow for the Mike Romey Awards. And also don't forget to tweet at Mike Rome. Get him to come on the show. We have one day.
I'm gonna tweet at Mike Rome.
Yeah, tweet at Mike Rome, please. DM him. Alright, have a great night, everybody. And Happy New Year.